All right, what's up, guys? It's Alex from Reps Riffs again. Today I'm going to do things a little differently. I'm not really going to talk about, you know, fitness and what I think you guys should do. I just kind of want to share my story a little bit, maybe let people in on my passion for bodybuilding, where it came from. And, honestly, I think that it's kind of saved my life in a way. It's turned my mind off of drinking, and I have a different focus now, and it's helped me stay sober for all these years and kind of kept my head in the game and kept me focused. So I kind of want to share that with people because I think a lot of people have a similar story. Maybe they don't know how to get out of an addiction they're in, or maybe they already have and they're just now starting their fitness journey and they've already made that leap. But I kind of just want to talk about what happened to me today. Maybe some of you guys can relate. I was, basically an alcoholic forever. Like, when I turned 18, I got arrested for a stupid gun charge that, in my opinion, was bullshit. It's not really important what happened, but I got arrested for a gun charge and I ended up getting put on probation. And when I got put on probation, as most of you guys know, they test you for weed. Well, at the time, it was hard to test for alcohol, so I drank instead of smoking weed. And I have been, basically, I was a hardcore alcoholic from 18 to like 27. And 27 years old is when I ended up going to prison. So for, 10 years, basically, I drank every single day, no matter what. Just drinking and driving, and, I got arrested a bunch of times in there. Never for anything super major, but alcohol wasn't doing anything good for me. All I was doing was, shitty entry-level jobs, barely surviving, and never having any money in my pocket. All of it was going to alcohol or cigarettes or whatever. And then that's what I did for a long time. I didn't really know who I was or why I was. I played music for a long time, and that was kind of my identity. And then that didn't feel right anymore either. And then things got really bad. And for about 2 years, I just drank and drank and drank and drank and drank and trying to kind of run from who I was and maybe find something. And I wasn't actually looking. I was just drinking. And eventually, what happened is I kind of snapped one night. Me and my girlfriend at the time and a friend of ours were drinking. Well, they were drinking out at the bar, and I was drinking at home. And then I met them at the bar, and then we went back to my house, and I fucking snapped, and I ended up hurting that guy pretty badly, and I ended up going to prison for it. And I deserved it. I totally deserved it. But, immediately, I think, within the first week of being in jail with a really scary charge, thinking I might spend the rest of my life in prison, finally, even after being arrested all those other times, I finally realized, like, holy fuck, dude, alcohol is the problem. You can't do that anymore. You just can't. It wasn't like I thought about it. It wasn't a decision that I made. It just was obvious. It was the only choice that I had, so it might be a little different for some of you guys that are out here in the street and there's fucking alcohol everywhere and nothing's really happened. You shouldn't be doing it. I knew I shouldn't have been doing it. But, nothing's really happened to trigger that. So I know that can be hard, but at some point, I hope that you can just open your eyes and all of a sudden your brain says, hey, man, don't fucking do that anymore. Because that's what happened to me. And if that wouldn't have happened, I'd probably be doing the same shit, So I was sitting in jail, and I finally realized can't do that anymore. I knew I was going to prison, so I started working out, just doing push-ups and stuff in my cell. I was in the hole for a long time when I first got to jail, so I'm just in a cell by myself. So I did like push-ups and squats and whatever I could do with body weight stuff. I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. I was just doing stuff. It wasn't really like something that I super enjoyed yet. It was just something to fucking pass the time more than anything, I had no information. I couldn't learn how to do anything or why. I didn't really even have the desire to at that time, to be honest. And I got a job in the kitchen. And I got, at that point, I wasn't in a cell by myself anymore. And my cellmate, he had been to prison already before, so he had worked out in prison, you know, and he learned some stuff in there. So I learned some things from him. I didn't know whether that information was good or not, but, you know, we were curling buckets and shit in the kitchen, you know what I mean, and doing push-ups every fucking 10 minutes or whatever. And they had this stuff called a textured vegetable protein, which is like, vegans might know what it is. It's basically just like fake meat, but it's got a ton of protein in it. It's actually really good for you. So we would just eat that. I'd get a whole big old cup of textured vegetable protein, TVP, and I would just eat that with hot water and a spoon fucking all the time. And I thought, you know, I was going to get fucking big because of that. And doing push-ups. I don't know. I didn't know anything, you know what I mean? So finally, you know, I was there for a while. I got sentenced and I ended up going to prison. Once I got to prison, now I had real weights. And I still didn't know what the fuck to do, you know? I don't know what I was doing. I just going out to the weight pile and I'm like fucking seeing what other people did and I would do that. Still didn't really have any access to information right away until I started making friends. And I found, you know, a friend, Hassan. He had Arnold Schwarzenegger's book in there and I read that book and I started applying that information. And then, you know, very quickly after applying the information I gathered from that book, I started seeing results. And that is when I was like, holy shit, I enjoy this. Like, I'm actually seeing the results of what's happening, and something in my head was like, this is what you want to fucking do. And I just started getting as much information from inside the prison as I could, which isn't a lot, you know, but everyone who had any kind of bodybuilding book or any kind of advice, there was, you know, a couple bodybuilders in there that I could talk to and stuff, and I would gather as much information from them as I could. Kind of got to take what you get with a grain of salt in there because you can't fact check anything, you know what I mean? But I continued to, you know, kind of lift like a power lifter in there. I was doing the big 5, you know, and I was just getting stronger and bigger because all I would do is go to the gym for an hour a day, lift heavy fucking weights, and then go sit on my bunk and fucking watch TV for 23 hours. Just rest and recover. And I ate a ton of, you could get big cans of oatmeal for like $2 in there, and then you could get like 1 pound of whey protein for like $20. And they had these little, like squeeze tubes of peanut butter, and I would eat like 2 cups of oatmeal with 1 scoop of vanilla protein powder and a tube of that peanut butter, and I ate that like 2 or 3 times a day. That was the best meal you could get in there, and I ate that. That's pretty much all I ate the whole time I was in there. Luckily I had, you know, my grandparents helping me out, giving me some money while I was in there. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to get any bigger. I wouldn't have never seen any results. I probably would have never gained this passion because of that. I would have never seen any progress. It would have just been something I did to pass the time, you know. So I'm glad I had that, you know. It's nice to have a family anyways, especially when you're in prison. But, you know, after I started seeing the results from that stuff, I started lifting really heavy because I thought that that's what was going to make me bigger. And I actually ended up hurting myself. I went out and I'm like, I'm going to fucking hit a deadlift PR today. I was going to do 495. I'm like, I can fucking do 5 plates. I can fucking do it, dude. And I went out there and I did 1 warm-up set, a quick one, on unsteady like dirt, and then threw 495 on there, and I got it up, but about halfway through, something went wrong and I strained my back really fucking bad. And like an idiot, I didn't put the weight down and I pushed through it and I actually completed the lift, but at the expense of my back. My back has been fucked up ever fucking since. It actually hurts right now, to be honest with you. But, you know, that was kind of a learning experience there, so I stopped really doing those. But I stayed lifting in prison the whole time I was there. And then when I got out into the real world, there was an adjustment period. Anybody who's ever been to prison knows. I mean, even if you've been in for just a year, you know, when you get out, the first couple months is weird, man, you know. There's not a whole lot going on inside of prison. You get outside, everything's moving so fast, and you have to you have all these responsibilities and shit, and you don't have shit in prison. Prison is fucking easy, man. The reason criminals, like, want to go back to prison is because there's no fucking responsibility in there. You can just be a criminal and survive, and they give you food, and fucking there's no responsibility at all. It's very, very easy. And in fact, it's actually like, I had to tell myself this a few times just to kind of get myself through the day sometimes. Like, you actually have it better in prison. I had it better in prison than some whole countries live. I had food every day, hot water, I had a place to sleep, electricity, I had everything I needed. Some countries don't have any of that shit, so I had to think about that quite a few times, you know, to kind of get myself through it. And it helped, you know, because it's true. Unfortunately, like, we take pretty good care of our inmates, better than the homeless. And most of the homeless are veterans. It's kind of fucked. But anyways, I'm back out in the real world now, and I'm trying to adjust to just being in the real world, as well as trying to do as much bodybuilding as I can. But it's different now. I don't know how to explain how it's different, but at first it was just something I kept doing to keep my mind straight, you know? It was something to stick to, something I had now. And I didn't really know what I was doing with it. And then I just kept doing it, you know, and I wasn't really seeing any results. I wasn't getting any bigger than I was in prison. I kind of just stayed the same. But what I did do, after about a year of that, is I started doing a lot of research. I said, you know, I'm not making any progress. What do I do now? I started doing a ton of research, and I learned a lot about how to lift weights, when to lift weights, how to eat, all that stuff, as well as I learned a lot about PEDs and how they work and why and with what receptors and all the stuff, right? So they didn't seem scary to me, and I started with pro hormones, and I tried that, and I didn't really get anything out of it. It just seemed kind of like a waste of money to me. Maybe I wasn't getting the right stuff, I don't know, but I didn't really seem to get anything out of that. Like, I would feel better at the time while I took them. I wouldn't look any different, but I would feel better. And then when I stopped, I would just feel like shit again. So eventually I started testosterone. And once I did that, that was kind of like the end game for me. That was like, oh shit, like, this is what it's like to fucking be a bodybuilder and get bigger and stronger and really enjoy just life in general, honestly. I don't know if any of you guys know anything about testosterone replacement therapy, but if you're over 30 and you don't feel great and you're gaining weight and you don't have a lot of motivation and shit, even like it helps with PTSD and anxiety, and it helps with a lot of things, depression. I would recommend maybe talking to your doctor about testosterone replacement therapy, because that shit fucking changed my life, dude. My life just took off like a fucking rocket, man. I was just into everything all of a sudden. Everything was fucking rad, and I had all these ambitions, and we're starting a company now, and I'm making gains in the gym, and I fucking took off in my career, and everything just got so much better that, like, it was, okay, this is how I live now, you know? Like, this is what I do. So yeah, I use PEDs. I use testosterone mostly. But I've used other stuff. I've used Tren. I've tried, I like Anavar. Anavar's pretty safe, and it feels really good. But if any of you guys have any questions about PEDs and stuff, you can always ask me. I have a lot of knowledge about that stuff, and I can probably guide you in the right directions. But anyways, you know, I'm still learning. I'm still learning how I can lift more efficiently, more effectively. I'm still learning how to eat better, you know, nutrition timing and stuff like that. I'm still learning about PEDs, you know, I'm still learning all of that stuff. I don't think that'll ever end. I don't think, you know, maybe some of you guys have hobbies and you know what I'm talking about. Like, even with playing guitar, you ask whoever you think is the best guitar player in the world, and they're going to say, holy fuck, man, no way, I'm not as good as this guy, right? And that guy's going to say, no way, man, I'm not as good as this guy. There's always someone better than you, right? No matter who you are, because that's just a matter of opinion, you know? So anyways, I've kind of just channeled all of the energy that I had for drinking into like bodybuilding, and now I'm trying to build an empire out of that passion, you know, with Reps and Riffs. Me and Cameron and Steve and Jeremy, we're trying to build this lifestyle, you know, that makes people want to be better, makes people want to go to the gym and be active and go out hiking and eat well and be healthy, you know, and happy and play music and just do what you want to do and enjoy your life. And, you know, bodybuilding has led me to that passion. So it's very important to me, you know. And I don't know how to explain it other than that. It's something that I can do, that I enjoy, and it's so much better than drinking every day. That shit, man. Like, when I was doing it, I didn't know, you know. I just thought I was just being alive, fucking, and I was an alcoholic or whatever. Like, I didn't really know how fucking shitty my life was. It's fucking crazy looking back on it now. It's like, fucking, what was I doing, man? Like, I didn't have anything. I didn't care about anything. It was just just simply existing with no purpose. And it's strange, man. Like, and I know I see a lot of my friends that are trapped in addictions that I can tell they feel the same way and they just don't know it. And it's sad, man. It sucks. And I wish I could just make you snap out of it, dude. But, you know, you got to do that for yourself. You got to figure it out on your own. Unfortunately, I'm fucking stubborn and I learned shit the hard way. It took me going to prison to figure it out. Sometimes people don't even figure it out then. You know, a lot of people go to prison and then get out and fucking do the same goddamn thing that put them in prison. So I don't really know how to help you guys with that, you know. I just think that maybe seeing that there is something else, you know, you can find a passion in something. And I think a lot of people find fitness as their passion after overcoming addiction. I see that a lot. I can tell when I see someone in the gym and they got a bunch of tattoos and they're like, you know, miscreant looking, you know what I mean? Like, you can tell, like, that guy was probably a drug addict at some point. He got clean and found the gym, and now that's what he does. And I think a lot of people have a very similar story. Whether it was a drug addiction or, you know, a bad relationship or who knows. A lot of people come out of a bad place and fall into the gym. And I kind of wish that, you know, the gym felt like a more accepting place, you know, because there's times, like, especially now with influencers and stuff, a lot of people try to shame other people in the gym for something stupid like glancing over and looking at people. And it's unfortunate because, in my opinion, the gym has helped a lot of people overcome a lot of bad things. And I think that anyone who's in the gym should be welcoming new people and trying to help them and make them feel better about being in the gym and make them want to come back to the gym again, instead of judging them and making them feel uncomfortable. And, you know, I film stuff in the gym, but, like, if I'm in your way or I think you're going to be in the shot, like, I'll adjust what I'm doing to get anyone who's in the gym out of the shot, unless you're my friends, and I don't care. But I don't know. I just think that the gym felt like a more accepting place for people. And I hope that we can kind of help make it that with Reps and Riffs. You know, we want to bring the metal community, which is a lot of alcoholics and a lot of drug addicts. We want to bring you guys into the gym and make you feel welcome there so that maybe you can live a healthier life and live longer and be happier, man. You know, that's all I want for you guys. So I just kind of wanted to share how I felt about that and where I came from and why I'm so passionate about this. Hope some of you guys can relate to it. Let me know what you want to hear about in the comments. Ask me any questions you might have. The links to all of our socials for Reps and Riffs are going to be in the description. Our website's in the description. Get yourself some badass t-shirts, hat, you know, get some supplements. We got all the supplements you'll need. We got all that stuff there too. But anyways, this was fun, guys. I like this one. I'll see you next time. Let's get big.